Erica, your resident occupational therapist, yoga teacher, and a web developer. Today I wanted to show you some stretches and some exercises that you can try on your next stretch break. So today I primarily just want to show you some head to toe exercises for people who are sitting in positions like this all day. So when we're thinking about our bodies in this position, I'm just going to take a minute to talk about why this is important and why we're doing these specific things so that you're more informed and that you can kind of think about where your body needs to be positioned as you're working throughout the day to stop the pain from being so severe. So when we're thinking about our bodies in this position, we're looking at our joints, right? Particularly the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. So many things go through this area. I spoke about it at length in one of my other videos that I'll link about repetitive stress injuries, but the gist is just that there are a lot of structures that go through these joints, and as we keep them compressed at an angle that's not neutral, this is our neutral position, so we're doing literally the opposite. All the structures are being compressed, and the structures that go through here are usually our nerves, right? Once our nerves become compressed, they often cause tingling, pain, and numbness, which is what we feel a lot of the time. The other thing that becomes compressed or shortened are our muscles in these areas. So at our hips, at our forearms, our biceps, our shoulders, our neck, everything is kind of compressed and shortened instead of being lengthened. So we want to make sure that our bodies are being moved into those opposite positions, that our chest, which is kind of, shortened right here as we hunch over, we want to make sure we're bringing the shoulders back and opening up the chest. We're opening up the biceps and the forearms, right? We're also standing up and making sure that we're getting some type of stretching in the hips as well, right? So let's start with the eyes. So I do have a separate video just for the eyes, so I'll link that too, but let's talk about some really simple, easy things that you can do for the eyes that'll kind of make them a little less strained throughout the day and give them a little bit of a break, right? So the one obvious one is every 30 minutes, look away from your screen, right? And if you look away from your screen, one of the exercises that you can do is you can lift the eyes up to the ceiling, over to the wall, down to the ground, over to the other wall, up to the ceiling. So this is really good for your eyes because you're giving your eyes that dynamic movement that it's probably craving, and you're focusing away from the screen. So if you want to take that a step further and include your neck, which also probably needs a little bit of relief, you can lift the eyes, right? And bring the head back. You can take the eyes down and bring the head down. You can take the eyes over to this side of the corner and bring the ear to the shoulder. And then take the eyes to the other side of the room and bring the opposite ear to the shoulder. Okay? And then once you do that, you can kind of just give yourself an all around and close the eyes. And then just switch positions. Okay? That's your one exercise for the eyes. So we've done the eyes, let's do the mouth. So the mouth, people don't really think about it, but we hold a lot of tension in our mouth. Right now, your tongue is probably sitting at the roof of your mouth, right? Just drop your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Loosen your jaw. Often we clench our jaw throughout the day without realizing it and then get a lot of headaches and we don't know why. Especially at night when we sleep, a lot of us are jaw clenchers and we just don't know it. So a way to kind of relax the jaw, other than just dropping the tongue from the mouth and relaxing the jaw, is one simple way to remind yourself to be aware of your mouth. But another way to do this, and it feels a little strange, is just to release the jaw and then stick the tongue out. Okay? Release the jaw, and then on a deep inhale out, weird, feels strange, but you're alone in your office, I'm guessing. And if you're not, who cares? You're gonna feel good after you do that. Okay, so that's the mouth. All right, so the next area we're gonna do is the neck. So I'm gonna give you, so we already did kind of this motion. Okay, and remember that for later. That one is an oldie, but a goodie. But my favorite one that I do in a lot of my yoga videos is we're gonna take our hand and we're gonna bring it to the top of our head, right? And we're gonna take our other hand and just bring it down, okay? And we're gonna slowly pull so that the ear comes to the shoulder. But we wanna make sure that this shoulder is also dropping. So we're not going like this, bringing our shoulder to our ear. We're dropping our shoulder, right? Dropping it and then bringing, and we're not pulling with our hand, we're just slowly guiding, okay? If you want to take this stretch a little further, what you can do is take this hand and wrap it around the back, right? And then take a deep breath here and let it go. And then another deep breath here and let it go. Okay, and then drop it. And then take the other hand, right? And I say at the top, but I do kind of bring it over a little bit. So we're gently pulling. Remember, drop that shoulder on this side too. Don't bring it to the ear, bring the ear to the shoulder. Okay. And if you feel inclined, after taking your breaths here, you can wrap the other side around for a deeper stretch. And then take your 2 breaths here. And then drop it, okay? I love a good shoulder roll, so I'm gonna give myself one. Okay, so let's talk about the shoulder. Our shoulder is sitting here, usually a little bit scrunched and pulled in, right? Boom. This may look exaggerated, but many of us find ourselves in this position throughout the day if we're at the computer for very long periods of time. I kind of always say this one, but it's so simple and it's worth repeating because it's such a simple thing you can do for yourself throughout the day. Drop the shoulders, bring them to the ear, and then push them down, okay? Take your fingertips to your shoulders, draw them back, open up your chest. Great. So if you're on a chair, this is the best way to kind of give yourself a stretch that's simple, would just be bringing the hands back around the chair, right? Around the chair, if you can. So if you don't have a chair, you can just bring it back around and grasp the hands, right? And drop the shoulders, right? Make sure the shoulder blades are across. So we're just gonna bring it here. If you want to go a little fancy with it, you can definitely clasp the hands, right? Clasp the hands. If you can't clasp the hands, it's really as simple as bringing your hands kind of right here and making sure those shoulders aren't being like this. You're gonna bring them back. Good. Right, so while you're here, there's a lot of different things you can do, okay? Depends on your comfortability and your flexibility, but here are some things that you can kind of get yourself to getting to. So just doing this every day and trying to bring your hands closer will get you where you kind of want to be, especially if we're doing the clasping. The clasping is probably the first step of where you want to be, okay? And then this would probably be the next step. It's a little bit harder to bring those palms together, but you can start by just bringing the tips together, right? Tips together, and then palms together. And then you can kind of bring palms together this way too. This is pretty challenging. It does require a lot of flexibility. So if you're here already, You're either naturally flexible or you stretch a lot, right? But you can kind of always just try to get the fingertips and then slowly bring them closer. Okay? And also grab the elbows, and if not, the wrists. Right? So there's a lot you can do here just to get those shoulders backing out. And things that you can do idly while you're at the chair. So those are the ones that I like for that one. Now for the spine, if we're thinking about the spine, I'm gonna show you one that I do like every video. And that's just your good old spinal twist. Bringing the hand over to the opposite knee, bringing the other hand behind you, right? And if you are on a chair, you can just bring the hand right on the chair. If not, just bring it behind you, right? And then turn your gaze to the back of the room. Okay, that spinal twist is gonna be so good for you. And then for the other side, we're just taking it over, gazing to the back of the room if it feels good. Deep breath in and out, and then bringing it back, right? So the other one that I like to do specifically for the spine, if we're seated at the table, is really just leaning forward to wherever feels good, okay? And hugging the knees. It's gonna really release the back, and then we're just gonna slowly drop the head. Okay? And if it feels good, you can bring the hands to the floor, not needed. It may not feel good to do that. Your chair may be set up in a way that just isn't a good fit, but if you can drop it and then just let your head hang. Remember to breathe and then slowly bring yourself up one vertebrae at a time. And open the throat and then bring yourself back. Right? So pretty simple for the spine. Now for the hips, what I like to do is I like to bring one foot up, kind of like this, and it's hard for me because I am on this ball, so I have to do a lot of balancing. But if you're on a regular chair, it'll be a little bit more simpler to just bring the leg up and cross it at the ankles. So you may not have a lot of flexibility here, and your knee may be up here, right? And that's fine. So if this is how it looks for you, that is okay, okay? So for me, I am a little bit, I am a little sore, and I'm on a bouncy ball. So my leg is not gonna drop down very far. We're gonna take one hand to the foot, other hand to the knee, and gently press down, right? And we're gonna breathe here. This is really giving ourselves a nice stretch here. If it feels good, you can slowly start to inch your chest towards your leg, okay? If I was in a regular chair, I may be able to bring myself all the way down, but really I'm gonna stop when it doesn't feel good, because we're not here to be in pain, we're here to feel good, right? So a few breaths here, and you can drop the foot and just try it the other way, right? So ankle to the knee, all right? Find your balance, other hand to the knee, right? Deep breath here. You can slowly start to inch your way, or just enjoy it where you are. And then bring it down. Okay. Shake it out. So those are, I would say, a pretty good start for the next time you need a little bit of a break. And I'll be back next week to give you a little bit more. I hope that this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you have any requests or any questions or just anything as far as feedback. I really appreciate you coming through and hanging out with me. I'll see you next week.